Hi YouTube, and this is JTrain997, and I'm back this time with my review of the G.I. Joe Retaliation Wave 1 Storm Shadow figure. Now, get a good look at him here in the packaging. Storm Shadow, like every figure in this line, comes with a kind of ridiculous action gimmick, and his is this. At first glance it looks like a jetpack, but apparently it's a zip line, much like Snake Eyes got. And Storm Shadow is actually a surprisingly nice looking figure here. With the exception of his two swords and his zipline gear, I don't think he got anything else. But oh well. On the back of the packaging here, you can see some of the poses they put him in, some of the other characters. And his reader says, Storm Shadow is the Cobra Ninja mercenary. He was trained by the Urashikage Ninja Clan alongside his brother and now archenemy Snake Eyes, a G.I. Joe Ninja Commando. Storm Shadow silently stalks his next victim high above the ground on a gravity-defying zipline. So, not too much to say about the packaging. Let's open him up. And here we have Retaliation Storm Shadow out of packaging. Now, real quick, his zip line, it's pretty much the exact same deal as the Snake Eyes one. You got two clips, a rope, and your anchor. A couple of different ways you can hook it up, of course. But the main difference is the missile firing gimmick is actually back here, and the button is right here. So you actually fire the anchor instead, which could make for some interesting, like, ropes cut, action. Still though, these things are a gimmick for kids, and I do not use them as such. Now, on to Storm Shadow. Once again, no base on the Retaliation figures. This came from the Crimson Hiss driver. So, and this is my second Retaliation review. The first one was Snake Eyes. I was really surprised to see how many collectors was like, I'm okay without them getting a base, because that was a huge deterrent for me when I first saw the line. But the detail in this Storm Shadow is actually really good. As I said with the others, the articulation is being cut in all figures but the ninjas, but at least they're, giving us some pretty solid ninjas. I can't seem to get his swords to go in his sheath back here. But he does have one, unlike Snake Eyes, who did not come with a sheath. Let's get those back here. We'll get a look at his detail. Alright. And sheath Storm Shadow. Solid white outfit, but they've done some good work on it. A lot of, little silver edging on it. The costume, the red Cobra logo shows up really nicely. Folds and ruffles really show up. For a line that's supposed to have, a lot of crappy figures in it, I guess I'm spoiling myself by starting with the ninjas, but these guys have been great so far. Now, as far as articulation, he does up and down at the head as well as left and right. Arms are on a ball joint, do a full 360. Spin and bend at the elbow. Spin, and I believe, hinged wrist, much like Snake Eyes. Of course, ab joint goes left and right, and very, very slight crunch. Let's go forward, back, and out. Double jointed at the knee, ankle joint, and ankle pivot. So, as far as articulation on Joe's, this guy has definitely got it all. There's not a bit of articulation here that I, am missing. On a small note, his foot pegs, excuse me, are a little bit small. You have to widen them up a little bit if you're going to put them on a Joe base. A lot of you have told me to go to Marauders, Gun Runners, and buy those bases, which I'll probably end up doing, but right now, trying to dig up all the spare 25th anniversary and Pursuit bases I can. So, this line, at the time of making this video, is, yet again, not out at stores. It's going to run you, between $7 and $10 at most stores. And I can't really say, as far as the whole line, but so far the ninjas have been top-notch. A lot of people still pissed they didn't get their hands on Renegade Storm Shadow single-carded. Even though they did re-release him in that pack, that's not exactly the same Storm Shadow. I've got to say, you need to pick this guy up if you're a big Storm Shadow fan. I think he's a great look for the character. And that being said, let's actually get some comparisons in here. And here we have Retaliation Storm Shadow in comparison to Rise of Cobra Storm Shadow and the before-mentioned Renegade Storm Shadow. Now, supposedly, Renegades is repainted in this line as the Red Ninja. It looks like it, but I can't make any guarantee on that because I haven't picked the Red Ninja up so far. I will be doing a review of him later. Now, I still prefer this Renegade Storm Shadow over this guy. I mean, this is still the, hands down, if you're going to have a, you know, defining Storm Shadow in your collection, it's going to be Renegade Storm Shadow. But that's not to sell Retaliation short. You know, great articulation. Actually, I believe he might actually have this guy beat on Retaliation. I don't think this guy had ankle pivot. He just had an ankle joint back and forth. But, you know, in comparison to the actual Rise of Cobra Snake Eyes, far more articulation. I'd say a much nicer paint job. This one just kind of has yellowed over time, or maybe it was yellowed when I first bought it and I just don't remember it. Either way, this one's got a far better outfit in my opinion. So, great looking figures all around. You know, there's not one of them I really dislike, but if you're wanting to fork out the $40 to $50 he's going for buy it now on eBay, get Renegade Storm Shadow. And the one of the big things that sets these two apart, I think, is that with Renegades you get so much gear. I mean, just ridiculous amounts. With Retaliation, it doesn't seem like there's any kind of emphasis on giving the characters a lot of gear. Just their standard, you know, a sword and a gun or 2 swords, and their action feature, and that's it. I'm really hoping as the line progresses we'll get away from that. But once again, $7 to $10. This is a must-own Storm Shadow for G.I. Joe fans, and that being said, this is JTrain997, and I'll see you soon, YouTube.